Clap your hands, everybody, from Philadelphia.
Oh,
Listen,
yeah.
listen, it is a glorious morning. It is a glorious morning. I couldn't be any happier. I got the Sixers shirt on. It's a beautiful day, good weather. Yeah, it's a little hot outside, but I don't care. I'm not going to let it ruin the day.
Hmm.
Philadelphia 76ers are going to the finals next season. I said it. I called it right now. You can come back to this episode a year from now. We are going to the finals. Jaylen Brown is a 76er, Fernando. Are you as happy as I am this morning? Is it possible to be as happy as I am?
I don't blame you for being really, really happy today. I really can't blame you because, wow, the Sixers just fleeced the heck out of the Celtics yesterday. I don't understand what the Celtics were thinking because
Yeah.
you just traded away a top 10 player for literally nothing. Yes, we can talk. Paul George is a good player, but he's not the Paul George we used to know. He's out of his prime. He's getting old. You gave six as a six man. You Sixers just gave up Paul George, two first rounders, and two second rounders for a top 10 player. Like, I'm incredibly impressed with what the Sixers did to get Jalen Brown. It is amazing. Hats off to the organization for pulling this off because now it's NBA Finals or bust. You have a window to go win a championship now.
Whoa. Let's hit the brakes. Let's hit the brakes a little bit here. Let's hit the brakes a little bit here. Let's hit the brakes. I wouldn't say it's championship or bust, but I will say
I
you
said
got
NBA Finals. I said NBA Finals
well,
or
okay.
bust.
I wouldn't even say NBA Finals. You got to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's a baby step. You haven't even been there yet. Let's get to the Eastern Conference Finals. Listen, look, I'm not ready to say this team is better than the Knicks. I'm not ready to say that they're the favorites in the East. I'm not because you still need to fill out the rest of the roster. We don't really have much on the bench. We need to fill out the veteran minimums. LeBron James, I just gave you a speech yesterday. Now the speech should be even better. You got JB coming to Philly. You need to come here. You need to come here and start in that
In
lineup. I'm
fact,
telling you right now.
in fact, the one position. This is the funny thing. We saw this yesterday. Look at the starting lineup: Tyrese
Yep.
Maxey, BJ Edgecombe. It's going to be now Jalen Brown, Dean Wade, and Joel Embiid. What is the one position that LeBron plays?
He
Power
can play
forward.
power forward.
Power forward. You get LeBron James. And that's a dangerous starting five. That will be a dangerous, dangerous starting five. I'm telling you right now, if I'm LeBron James right now, I would highly consider going to the 76ers now.
Dude, I was sitting with my dad yesterday. Maybe this has had to be like an hour before the trade broke the news, bro. I'm not even kidding. I was sitting down in the living room, just hanging out, watching the World Cup, just chilling. And I turned to my dad and I said, "Hey, pops, like, it's sad to know the 76ers are going to be mediocre next year. With Paul George, he's just not that guy. He's good in the first quarter, then he progressively gets worse throughout games. You don't know when Joel Embiid's playing. We don't have anyone on the roster who I'm excited about, like, and new guys, new faces. Dean Wade isn't all that. I'm not excited about Ariel Huckporty from the Knicks, the third string center. Who cares about Huckporty? I don't care about that signing. 1 hour later, I get a message from you, Fernando. Before I even see the news online, Jaylen Brown is going to the 76ers. I open up social media. I go on the apps, go on Instagram. I see Shams reported it, so I know it's real. He wasn't healthy yet. My dad was in disbelief. And all of a sudden, the clouds that were above the Philadelphia 76ers,
We're gone.
they disappeared. They disappeared. And now I'm seeing the sunlight. Now I'm seeing a Larry O'Brien trophy. It's right there. It's right there. All you got to do is go and take it. And you have Tyrese Maxey, my glorious Tyrese Maxey. You have BJ Edgecombe. BJ Edgecombe. Any other year wins Rookie of the Year. You have Joel. The process Embiid. If he just keep processing, because I think the process can be completed. All you got to do is play 50 or 60 games and get to the playoffs healthy. And then you bring in Mr. Jaylen Brown himself. Mr. Jaylen Brown himself, 2024 NBA champion, 2024 NBA Finals MVP. Last year, top 5 or 6, 7, MVP candidate. Coming from Boston, led a terrible team to 56 wins. Fernando, you know how Stephen A. Smith loves to say it's orange and blue skies? It's blue, red, and white skies. Not just for the 4th of July, but for the Philadelphia 76ers. It is blue, red, and white skies. And I'm excited. I'm hyped. We have a lineup. Listen, get Dean Wade out of here. I don't want Dean Wade, but I don't care. He's not going to put me down. LeBron James, come to Philadelphia. Start at the 4. I see the vision. I see the vision. Who's a better starting lineup in the NBA if LeBron comes over? Tell me, is there a starting lineup better than the Philadelphia 76ers if LeBron comes over and plays the 4?
Not really. I can't think of another team. Maybe the Thunder, but no, not really.
It's
I
blue,
mean,
red, white skies. It's blue, red, and white skies. I'm telling you right
yeah,
now.
yeah. Amazing trade by the Sixers. Hats off to them. It's an incredible trade. You opened a championship window now, and it's all going to be dependent on whether Embiid can stay healthy. But I really think even if he's not healthy throughout the
Even if
regular
he's not.
season, even if he's not really healthy, now you have a secondary guy with Tyrese Maxey who can actually help out and carry the load when Embiid is not playing. So that is
Yep.
exactly. This is an amazing trade. An absolute A plus. If you can do, if I can give
A
another plus. And we're going to talk about, I want to talk Celtics. What are you thinking? What
Yeah.
are you thinking? You just traded away a top 10 player for nothing. Absolutely nothing. Paul George is done. He's out of his prime. Not a great player anymore. And you're just getting 2 first rounders, 28, 2031 first rounders, and 2 second rounders. You just gave away a top 10 player for that? Are you kidding me? Jaylen Brown is a top 10 player. You saw what he did last season. He carried a Celtics team that was supposed to be in rebuild mode to 56 wins, second in the Eastern Conference. He averaged 28 points per game, more than Tyrese Maxey, in fact. And now he might even be the star on this team now, and actually can help carry some of the load off Tyrese Maxey because he had a lot to carry last year. So amazing trade. And also the thing that bothers me with the Celtics is, well, I'm happy because I don't like Celtics, but I don't get why you're trying to get a guy out of your team who didn't even request to get out of the Celtics. He was very happy there. He enjoyed playing with the Celtics. He enjoyed being with Jason Tatum. He didn't ask to leave the Celtics. And this is the thing I don't understand. Like it's like the Celtics were showing him the door, and Jaylen Brown didn't want to leave. I don't understand what the Celtics were doing. Brad Stevens is mediocre for what he did, and Celtics now you're in rebuild mode. Like if you're a Celtics fan, like the window to win a championship is pretty much diminished.
This couldn't have happened to a better team because I hate the Boston Celtics. I hate them. I hate them with all my heart.
Me too.
I
Me
hate
too.
them for what they've done to my team year after year, taking out the 76ers. We finally get over the hump this year and we beat them, come back from down 3-1, and then we take their best player. And I follow some Celtics accounts on Instagram because, I like to keep in with the rival. I like to check in, see what's going on, right? Get the inside scoop with the rival fans. And people are down and depressed and sad, and they don't understand the trade. And I'm over here laughing and smiling because it couldn't have happened to a better team. It couldn't have happened to a better team. I'm so happy. And you know what? To get to the Celtics part of it, and I'll be serious. Brad Stevens, are you okay? Blink,
No, I agree. I completely agree.
blink twice if you need help. Did someone force you to make this trade? What are you doing? What are you doing? We just had this conversation about John Moran and why you would trade him at this point, right now, at the lowest possible value. First, he asked for the 76ers for VJ Edgecombe and 4 or 5 first-round picks.
And Paul George.
Originally, the original offer, sources are saying it was VJ Edgecombe and 4 or 5 first-round picks. That's what the Celtics wanted.
I also heard it was Paul George as well.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, right? They want a young star. I understand. You get 4 or 5 first-round picks. And we said no. I don't want to give up VJ Edgecombe. VJ Edgecombe's young. He's a good player. Why would we do that? But Mike Gansey, and Bob Myers, what you have done for this franchise after Daryl Morey ravaged it, absolutely tore it apart, gave Paul George who knows how a billion gazillion dollars at 35 years old who can't even play basketball for 4 quarters. Mike Gainsey, you came in here and saved the day. He sat there, he waited. He knew the price would drop. And Brad Stevens, the guy who people were saying is the best executive in basketball, dropped the price to so little that he was willing to take a 35, almost 36-year-old Paul George, 2 first-round picks, not even the Clippers pick that we get to keep, and 2 seconds for Jaylen Brown. Brad Stevens, this tarnishes your legacy. And this is a horrible trade. I'm not going to say it's as bad as Luka Doncic because Nico Harrison will forever hold that crown, but that's up there. And Nico Harrison is somewhere today celebrating that there's something else to talk about. There's another terrible trade. And you know what? Maybe Brad Stevens is a genius. Maybe he's a genius. Maybe Paul George next year shows up to Boston and scores 30 a game. Maybe Paul George becomes an MVP candidate. Maybe the Boston Celtics with a 40-year-old Mike Conley and Paul George, who's almost ready to go to a nursery home, and everyone else they've signed who's already too old. Maybe the Celtics win a championship. But I don't see it happening. And the Philadelphia 76ers are big winners today. They're big winners. And now you have a big four of Embiid, of Maxey, of Edgecombe, and Jaylen Brown. And you know what? The greatest thing about this is that the future is set while you're still living in the present. You have Joel Embiid, who's on contract for 2 or 3 more seasons. If he's healthy, he's still a great basketball player. And at the same time, you have your future core. You have Jaylen Brown, you have VJ Edgecombe, and you have Tyrese Maxey. And you just drafted LeBron Philon Jr. So even if you don't win a championship in the next 2 or 3 seasons with Embiid, that contract will be off the books in 2 seasons. Jaylen Brown will still be only 32. And you can use that money and go get your next guy. And that team can compete for a championship. This is a great deal for the Philadelphia 76ers. Fernando, I need you to pinch me. This doesn't feel real. I mean, are the Philadelphia 76ers, are they all of a sudden the favorites in the East, or do we need to pump the brakes and say the Knicks are still the favorites? We need to see how this works out the rest of the roster.
I think you need to be pinched because, yeah, I mean, you can't. At the end of the day, the Knicks are the NBA champions, so you can't rule. You can't go against the team that just won a championship. So and then they're keeping most of the core that won the championship last year. I mean, yeah, they lost Mitch Robinson, but at the end of the day, most of that core is still there. They still have Jalen Brunson, they still have Mikal Bridges, they still have Karl Anthony Towns, they still have that core that won them a championship. And I can bet you right now that the Knicks are gonna probably make some moves in free agency. So I think we should pump the brakes a little bit, but I think they are a favorite to go to win the Eastern Conference now after this trade because now you have potentially one of the most dangerous starting fives in all of the NBA. The only position you're missing is a power forward. If you get LeBron James or a really good power forward to go start in that for the 76ers to do that, I think the sky's the limit for them next season.
It has to be. It has to be. And the great thing about this is even if you don't get LeBron James, Dean Wade is a 3-and-D guy. You know, and Dean Wade, look, is he a great player? I wouldn't say he is, but he's one of those guys who's, you know, I think he's a good 6'9", 6'10". Can shoot the three at about a 37% clip. You know, can spread the floor, and you need one of those guys in your lineup who's a catch and shoot. You know, put him in the corner. Great corner 3-point shooter. So regardless, even if we don't get LeBron, I think I'm interested to see who they fill in on the bench because we still need bench guys. You still need guys who can come in off the bench and produce. The Knicks were deep, and that's why they won the title. The Spurs are deep, and, you know, they were in the finals. So we still need those bench guys. But yeah, man, like outside the Knicks, I think you're looking at it and you just think to yourself, there's no one else who you look at and think they're way better than the Philadelphia 76ers. There's nobody. And if you're comparing starting lineups for starting lineups, the Sixers match up with anybody in the NBA right now. And again, if they get LeBron James, oh man.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Get, fireworks in the sky. If they get LeBron James, LeBron, I'm telling you, come to Philadelphia. Come to where the United States started. 250th anniversary. Come home. Come home. Finish your career in Philly. Come and finish it in Philly. I'm telling you, it's the way to go. It's the way to go. Is it not?
It's not. I mean, yesterday I did think you're crazy. I'm not gonna lie, but today after this trade, like you can't rule it out. I mean, we've talked about how LeBron just wants to go to a contender and win that one last championship that ties him with Michael Jordan. And now after this trade, like you go to Philadelphia, you make that team one of the biggest contenders to go win a championship. So if I'm LeBron James right now, I'm like, maybe Philadelphia might not be a bad idea because it actually gives me the best shot to actually go win a championship.
Yeah, and I've seen reports that the Sixers are heavily interested. They're ready to pursue LeBron and they're ready to convince him. Now we have to give him very little money, probably a minimum, a veteran minimum. But again, if you want to be happy, if you want to compete for a championship, Philadelphia is the way to go. Philadelphia is the way to go, and we're starving. We're starving for that championship. We haven't had it in a long time. We're almost like the Knicks, right? What is it, 43 years or something? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, it's not 53, but it's been a while. Like we're
yeah.
waiting for that to happen, and this would be crazy for a legacy. It would be great for him. It'd be great for the city of Philadelphia. It'd be great for Joel Embiid. And Jaylen Brown is going to be out for blood next season.
And
Whenever
this is the
he
thing.
beats Boston, like,
This is the thing too. You just traded for a guy who's gonna have so much motivation, and I mean,
to prove. Yeah.
so much motivation because that's a
Yeah.
guy who did a lot for the Celtics, and yet
Yep.
it's like he didn't want to. It's like they didn't want him there. So
Yep.
if I'm Jalen Brown, I would want to. I'm out for. You said it best. I'm going. I'm out for the blood because I want to prove to the Celtics why you made the mistake to show me the door because that was a he. I'm a really good player, and I'm ready to show you why I was the better option than Jason Tatum.
Look, if I'm Adam Silver, I think you have to put Sixers Celtics opening night. I think you have to. Well, I mean, look, the Knicks will probably play because of
The,
the
the,
type
the
of
next will
games.
the next will get opening night.
But I think what they should do is, I mean, usually they do two Eastern, two Western. But like, are we really not going to do? I mean, look, the only matchups I could think of are Spurs Thunder would be a good matchup for opening night. I think Knicks Spurs would be a great match for opening night. I think Knicks Sixers, Knicks Celtics. But I mean, Sixers Celtics has to be a possibility. And maybe if it's not opening night, it's Christmas. You got to put them on a prime time stage. And I
Oh,
mean,
could agree more.
you have to, and that is, dude. I'm telling you right now, Jalen Brown is gonna ask for that Jason Tatum assignment. He's gonna want that Jason Tatum assignment, and he's gonna go after him. And I'm, you know what, a motivated Jalen Brown. That's dangerous. It's
Could
dangerous.
agree
Now,
more.
my only question is, in terms of this, before we wrap this conversation up, is how does this work in Philadelphia? Obviously, Joel Embiid has been the number one option for years. I mean, let's just be honest here. Joel Embiid, in terms of centers at all time, is probably the greatest scorer at the center position ever. It's just his ability to score the basketball is unreal. It's just the truth when he's healthy. Obviously, his availability is a problem. But he just dropped 70 not too long ago, and he averaged more points than minutes 2 years ago when he was healthy. So to say he's the best scoring center of all time is not unrealistic. Is he the same version of that guy today? Probably not. But the question is, who's your number one option? Who's your number one guy, and how do you look at it? Because now, obviously, you don't want to stunt the growth of VJ Edgecombe. Tyrese Maxey was a 28 point per game scorer. Jalen Brown was a 28 point per game scorer. And Embiid at his best is a 30 point per game scorer. So, what do you think the right approach is for the Sixers and Nick Nurse? Like, where does the offense run to? Is it a committee thing? Is it one night Brown goes for 30, one night Embiid goes for 30, another night Maxey? Or is there a pecking order? Who needs to get the ball first? Who needs to set the tone, and then everyone else follows? What do you think?
That's a really good question. Um, I think it should actually be Jalen Brown who sets the tone because last year we saw it with the Sixers. Like I think the burden for Tyrese Maxey did start to carry on throughout the playoffs,
For sure.
and I think that's why we didn't see him play that well against the Knicks because I do think the
Yeah.
load was starting to get to him. And honestly, like Jalen Brown has been in that stage and has done it before. He's won a championship. He was a Finals MVP, so
Yeah.
he's a guy who knows how to get it done and
Yeah.
and has the experience, unlike a Tyrese Maxey, a Joel Embiid, and those guys on the team. So I honestly would think the best thing you could do right now is run the offense through Jalen Brown because he's a guy who can give you 20 points per game any given night. Well, Tyrese Maxey could do it too. I do think sometimes that inconsistency could get to him. And Joel Embiid, I think he has to be more of a third option because again, I think sometimes he carries too much of a burden, and that's what leads him
Yeah.
to get hurt. To get
I
hurt.
agree.
So I
Yeah.
honestly think Jalen Brown should be the number one guy, then Tyrese
Yeah.
Maxey, and I think Joel Embiid should be the number three guy. He's not gonna like it, but if Joel Embiid really wants that championship that he's promised to bring to Philadelphia for a long, long time, he needs to understand that he's not gonna be the primary option anymore.
Yeah, look, I agree. I think having Joel Embiid have less of the ball is probably going to help him stay healthy because a lot of the times he's getting doubled and tripled and he's getting a lot of, he's taking a physical pounding on the body. It's just the truth down low. Um, I also think it's one of those things where I prefer there not to be a pecking order. I think it's okay each night to have a different leading scorer. I really think that's okay. And I think if Jalen Brown wants to have success here, I understand you want to be the number one guy, but you just have to play with the flow, right? You're one of the better players on this team. You'll get your moments. We'll have plays drawn up for you. At the same time, make use of Joel Embiid. Embiid has to be double teamed. He cannot be stopped 1-on-1. It's the truth. When he's healthy and playing, he has to be double. So that ball is getting kicked out. Jalen Brown should feast. Tyrese Maxey should feast. VJ Edgecombe should feast. Like this helps everybody. And now the big thing is, you're right. Tyrese Maxey had a ton of the burden. I think he led the NBA in minutes last year, or in the playoffs, or it was one of those crazy stats. Now that Jalen Brown's there, when Embiid's out, even if Embiid's out and not playing, now you can win 50 games because you have Jalen Brown and Tyrese Maxey and Edgecombe. Like these are guys who can carry the load while Embiid's out. So this is huge. I think this just changes the course of a franchise. And what a start to Mike Yancey's career in Philadelphia. Fantastic start. Way to make a trade. Way to go after and get that guy. Way to take it from your rival. And if I'm the Celtics, what are you doing trading into the Sixers? Like, why would you do that?
I couldn't agree more with that take.
Like,
why would you trade him to the Western Conference?
Thank you. Even if the deal was a little bit worse, how much worse can it get than this deal? Like, you make no sense trading him to Philadelphia, where you're going to see him 4 times a year, and it's literally right down the road. And there's just so much history between these rivals. Like, what's the story going to be if Jalen Brown now goes and wins a title in Philadelphia? I mean, that is going to break Boston fans' hearts, because that would be terrible. That would be terrible. And Brad Stevens, look, he's been trusted with a lot of decisions. He's built championship teams. Maybe there's something behind the scenes we don't know about. But right now, it does not look like a great deal. And I'm really interested to see how this works out. But we got to move on. We got a lot to talk about today. World Cup obviously is still happening. Last night, the U.S. beat Bosnia 2-0, but what did not? It came without controversy. With controversy, excuse me, it came with controversy. Balogun, red card. And you know what, Fernando? I'm watching the game last night, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, "There's no way this is a card. There's no way. There's no way this is a card," because I saw the same play Messi made, and there wasn't a card. So there's no way that VAR is going to tell the referee to give him a card. There's just no way, because FIFA treats everybody the same way. And FIFA is very reliable. FIFA's not rigged. FIFA is very honest. There's no way that there's going to be a card here when they didn't give Messi a card. And what do you know? The referee goes to the VAR. He comes back, and he gives Balogun a red card. And I'm sitting there, and a lot of people this morning are I'm all over the place looking at social media, sports shows all over the place, and everyone's saying the same thing. You can't treat players differently. You can't. The Messi play and the Balogun play were the same. If anything, Messi was more reckless, because Balogun was just going after the ball, and so was the other guy. It was bad luck that they stepped on each other. Messi was chasing the Algerian player. If anything, Messi was more reckless, and Messi did not get a card. And you could argue, okay, it could have been a yellow, it could have been a red. But if Balogun is a red, Messi should have been a red. And I don't care what your name is. I don't care if Ronaldo comes out today and does that and commits a foul like that. I'm going to be heartbroken if it's a red, because Messi didn't get it. But I understand it, because Balogun got a red last night. But you have to keep the same standards for everybody. And that sets a terrible precedent, and it just looks bad for FIFA. Because already people are saying how easy the road is for Argentina, how easy Messi has it, how easy the path is going to be, and how Messi gets preferential treatment. Am I wrong? Is it not crazy to say that this is a bad look for FIFA, that you give Balogun a red card, and Messi did the same thing earlier in the tournament and did not get penalized at all?
I couldn't agree more, George. I mean, it was the same tackle, and for some reason, Messi didn't get carded, and Balogun got a red card. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand why. Look, we could talk about the Messi tackle all we want. I thought it should have been a yellow. I don't think it should have warranted a red card. But here it should have been, if you gave Messi no card, or even a yellow, if you gave him one of those 2 cards, and Balogun did the same thing, and you give him a red card, that doesn't make sense to me. I mean, you have, in a big tournament like the World Cup, you have to set a standard on what is correct and what is not. And last night, you're making it much more unclear to the players, to the coaches, and to the teams, because that tackle was literally exactly the same as Messi. Both were going for the ball, and then it turned out, just because they were going for the ball, it was like both guys were trying to hurt the player. But one of them got a red card, and the other one didn't even get a card. So it doesn't make sense to me. Balogun should have just gotten a yellow. And now it's become a huge problem, because now I'm, as a fan or coach, etc., I'm asking myself, what is a yellow and what is a red card? Because
Yep.
I don't understand like what the standard is when it's a yellow card and what's a red card. And this is the thing too that bothers me a lot. VAR stepped in and they showed images that were slow motion and made it look worse. In real time, you look at it and it's not that bad. I think that's something
Yeah.
that I think VAR needs to start doing more often. I don't think we
Yeah.
need should be depending on the slow mo images, on the slow mo images and those kind of things. You need to
Yeah.
look. You need to show the play on what it is, fast pace, and what it turned out to happen. And that's why I'm very furious today because Balogun should have just gotten a yellow. It shouldn't have been a red. And we're playing soccer. We're going for the ball. We're giving our hearts out to go win a game. And yeah, we make mistakes, but I just don't understand why that had warranted a red card when Messi
Yeah.
did the same thing. It should have just been a yellow.
It looks bad. It looks bad. It's just as simple as that. It looks bad. It makes you look unreliable. It makes the referees look questionable. It makes the VAR entire system look dumb, quite frankly. Like everything needs to be called the same way. I don't care who the player is. If Mbappe commits a foul that deserves a red card, it's a red card, right? I mean, it's as simple as that. I understand it's messy. I understand he brings in views. I understand you're talking about one of the greatest players ever, but you have to call it the same way. If that's a red card on Balogun, it should have been a red card on Messi. And now, when people say, "Oh, Messi gets preferential treatment," what's the argument? What's the argument going to be? Oh no, it wasn't the same foul. Oh, Messi wasn't on purpose. Was Balogun's on purpose? Was it not the same foul? So
Yep.
again, like you can argue all you want, and again, I'm a Ronaldo fan, so but like again, when I'm just trying to be fair here. Like Balogun, if you're gonna make him miss a round of 16 game against Belgium, a super important game, one of the guys in the Golden Boot race, you don't. I think people don't understand how good Balogun's been. He's
Oh,
been
I
one of the
agree.
best players in the World Cup, one of the best players in the World Cup, and you're gonna
Not,
make him sit.
not just the best player, one of the best players in this World Cup. He has been the most important player for the United States.
Oh, absolutely.
We can talk about Pulisic, but you look at how the United States has been playing this entire World Cup, and this USA team is non-existent without Balogun. They don't create, they don't score goals, they don't create goals. They everything runs, the offense runs through Balogun, and now you're going to play Belgium, and now you are going to miss your most important player, and now Pulisic, who just coming off a calf injury that if he's not careful could tear his Achilles, is going to have so much burden and so much load
Yeah.
to carry in that Belgium game because of
Yep.
Balogun, because Balogun got an unfair red card.
Yep.
It's not fair on the United States because
No, that's not.
it's really not. I'm really mad. I'm really mad because we
Yeah.
could talk about Messi, but if you're not calling a yellow card or not giving a card to Messi
Yeah.
for what happened, and you're giving a red card to Balogun for the same thing he
Yeah.
did, it's not fair. It just shows that you're giving preferential treatment, and it hurts me to say as a Messi fan, but there has to be a standard. There really has to be.
It's the truth. It's the truth, and I'm glad we're on the same page on this. And I think a lot of people are. I think a lot of people are, and it's frustrating because you're talking about the World Cup. It happens every 4 years. You want to see the best teams have the best chance, and then you have significantly hurt the U.S.'s chances of now beating Belgium because you take out their best striker. Pepe is decent, but he's not Balogun, and Balogun right now is on a heater. And you took their best player off the field. You took their best player off the field, and who's to say if Messi gets a red card? Let's say Messi gets a red card in that game. Now he's not getting that hat trick. He's not in the Golden Boot race, and now he's not playing the next game. So it changes the whole. It changes the whole tournament. These red cards change the whole tournament. And now that you took Balogun out, it's going to hurt the U.S. and it hurts their chances. Like I'm not saying they're not going to beat Belgium because I think Belgium is flawed and they should have lost to Senegal, but somehow Senegal could not hold on, which is it's another
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
But it's just it really hurts to watch, and it really stinks that this is how it's happening. It's inexcusable. It's inexcusable that it's essentially the same play is being. It's not like one play was a yellow, one play was a red. One play was no card, and one play was a red. There's a huge difference. There's a huge difference, and it's just not okay, especially if you're FIFA. I mean, it's really not helping your case at all. It's not helping your case at all that this idea that oh, players like Messi are not getting preferential treatment because this you can't say that and
Yeah.
then show us this play, not have Messi get a card and have not Balogun get a red card. I mean,
Yeah,
it's inexcusable.
yeah, I couldn't agree more. And in fact, one of the things the Bosnia players did really well, unlike the Algeria players, is they actually went to complain to the ref. They put pressure on the ref, and then that's when they went to
Yep.
the VAR. But yeah, I agree. Like it has to be a standard, and they and out after to last night. There's no standard. Absolutely
Yeah.
not, because now you don't understand what's a
Nope.
yellow card and what's a red card. What's okay and what's not okay. Because I don't understand what a tackle is anymore. Like what is a fair tackle and what is not? Because both players were going for the ball, and one of them didn't get a card, and one of them got a red card, and both were accidental. And then again, like I said, one got a red card, the other one didn't. So FIFA has a lot to answer. It's not fair on the United States. It's much more unfair to the teams who don't get the preferential treatment. If I'm a U.S. fan today, I'd be livid. I would storm. I would literally go to FIFA right now to appeal. Right now, they're not going to get the appeal, unfortunately. But
Yeah. I don't know why
it's
they don't
just
do that.
in this card is just hurts the United States' chances to beat Belgium, because I honestly think if Balogun plays against Belgium, I think United States is undoubtedly the favorite to win this game. But now
For
they don't have
sure.
Balogun, and now it's a coin toss.
Yep. No, I completely agree. This changes the trajectory for the U.S. and they are a better team than Belgium right now. And with Balogun, I think they are. People are confident they win that game. Without him, you just don't know. You just don't know. Again, Balogun is so important to that team, and now you take him off the field, and it really hurts teams who don't have Messi. I'll say really, it's like that. You don't have Messi, you're not going to get the preferential treatment, and that really hurts. And again, Gigi Infantino, like people are all. It's even worse because all over social media, whenever Messi scores, you see people go to the camera and see Gigi Infantino
And then
laughing,
clapping
smiling,
and
and
clapping.
clapping. And then you have him on social media every time Messi does anything, he's posting on his Instagram saying how thankful he is for Messi and blah 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 blah. And then if something like this happens, and it's like everything is pointing to saying, "Oh, FIFA wants to see Messi go back to back. FIFA wants to see Argentina win." And then with this, the draw of the groups, like, okay, yeah, I understand Uruguay should have taken care of business and BK Verde, but just the reality of that, the groups on that side of the on that bracket they're softer, right? Even if Portugal had won, okay, it was Portugal and then Argentina, but like France, Spain, Germany, all on the same side, like there's just a lot that I have to answer for. And right now, FIFA looks terrible, and it just looks like there's underlying treatment, there's underlying preferences and motives as to how they're officiating this tournament. And again, it makes a dangerous precedent because you have games today with important players like Lamine Yamal, Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes. Like, what happens if they make that tackle? Are you telling me it's a red card now, and then you're not going to give Messi a red card? Like, can you imagine if Ronaldo had a play today where he stepped on somebody's ankle and he got a red card and Messi didn't? Can
Yep.
you
Yeah.
imagine?
If that happens, then that means FIFA prefers Messi. It's just simple as that. If
I
Ronaldo does
mean,
it today and he gets a red card, then there's preferential treatment, and there's no question about it.
it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous, and it's frustrating because there shouldn't be any of this in the World Cup. It should be a fair playing ground for every single team.
Let me say this too: the ref last night was absolutely god awful, god awful. He gave so many calls to the Bosnian team. The
Yeah,
United States did not get many calls, and there were fouls that were clear on Bosnia, and the ref didn't call them. And
yeah,
same thing of the United States on Bosnia, and somehow the ref calls those fouls, and for the United States, he never called them.
yeah,
So the ref, yes, last night was god awful. I don't think he deserves another game in this World Cup after what happened last night.
yeah, yeah. I just it's extremely disappointing. And
But
again,
I'll say,
if you're a USA fan, it's hard not to feel like you were cheated.
but I'll say
Simple.
this: I know it sucks to lose Balogun, but the United States should still feel confident about that game against Belgium, because
For sure.
Belgium got extremely, and I mean extremely lucky to get past Senegal. Senegal
100%.
choked that game, and then the United States. What they did after losing Balogun was nothing short of impressive. The mental toughness, the mental strength to come back
For
from that
sure.
and extend your lead against a
Yep.
Bosnia team that was going to go all out to win the game is nothing
Yep.
short of impressive. So props to the United
Yeah.
States. You might have lost Balogun, but you should go into that game with full confidence.
Yeah, and Bosnia's not a bad team, but I think that showed you something that this US team's character has. They're tough, they're mentally tough. They're not going to let anything stop them from accomplishing what they want to accomplish, and that was a great game. It showed their personality as a squad, and I really was impressed. I was really impressed. They didn't even concede a goal for 30 minutes playing a man down. Moving on, today we have some big games. Obviously, Spain and Austria. I want to focus on the bigger one, the more competitive one, Portugal, Croatia. Before we get to Argentina tomorrow. What are your expectations for this game? You have Cristiano Ronaldo over 41 years old. You have Luka Modric over 40 years old. I love how Ronaldo just played James Rodriguez, his former teammate at Real Madrid. Now he's playing Luka Modric, his other former teammate. Like, it's just so cool to see these two guys playing at high level still at the World Cup. Croatia is the perennial overperformers at these tournaments, right? You just never think Croatia's going to win anything, and then somehow they make it to the semifinal or the final and they surprise everybody. Portugal, historically, even before Ronaldo, just has fallen short, right? The team has never been good enough to go and win a World Cup, and this year there's doubts that they're good enough because the players on the team as a roster are underperforming. It's as simple as that. So, what are your expectations for this game? Does Ronaldo start? I think people are expecting him to start. I saw rumors that maybe Gonzalo Ramos will start, Ronaldo coming off the bench, but I'm pretty sure Ronaldo will get the cap today. What are your thoughts on the game, and what do you expect to see from both squads?
I expect a very, very entertaining game. I think both
Yeah,
teams are really, really good. Both have very experienced players, and I think I think Croatia is going to play much better than they did in the group stage because you said it. You said it right now. They're for some reason they always get it together in the knockout rounds. In the group stage, we saw it last 4 years ago. They didn't play well in the group stage. In fact, they got very lucky to make it to the knockout rounds because Belgium missed so many chances. And then in the knockout rounds, they got it together and they made it to the semifinal. So tonight, Croatia is going to play really well today, and I think Portugal needs to be ready
for sure.
Luka Modric, I can promise you right now, he might not be having a good tournament, but he will get it together today because he knows he has the experience, he knows how to get it done, and Croatia still has a lot of good players in Gabriel. They have a good coach, they have great
Yeah,
goalkeeper, they have a lot of experienced players from 4 years ago, so
yeah.
Portugal really needs to bring their A game because if they don't, they're going home early. And to make sure that midfield today for Portugal is at its best because the midfield, that team runs through its midfield. The midfield controls the pace, that dictates the play, makes sure that you have more possession of the ball, gives the ball to Ronaldo, to the offense. So the midfield has to be perfect today because whoever dictates play on the midfield is going to win this game.
Look, I'm disappointed in Vitinha so far because you watch Vitinha at PSG and he's playing incisive balls, right? He makes this the close passes, the tight passes in those small pockets where you have to make the pass. You watch him at PSG and he does those things. At Portugal, he has not done it this tournament. I can't remember one incisive pass he's made that has made a significant impact on the game. So, look, the midfield, yeah, they have some great players, Shawn Mendes and Bruno Fernandes and Vitinha. But you have to play inside. I don't care if you hold the possession for the whole game. That's not what you're there to do. Make incisive passes. And look, if I'm Roberto Martinez, I think you start Leao. I think Leao at the end of last game showed you
Could
something.
agree more.
I think you start Leao. I think you start Neto, even though Neto has been so on and off. Sometimes he's good for 20 minutes, and then sometimes he's literally non-existent for 20. I think eventually you bring down João Felix and you bring on Colin Sal as subs for both of them. Look, Bernardo Silva, another good player, but I just don't see the value right now. He's small, he's slow. He doesn't exactly give you what Portugal needs in terms of, well, especially when you have Ronaldo at the top. You have Bernardo Silva as well. Bernardo Silva does not do as that much in terms of pressing and running down the line and creating a lot of opportunities. So we'll see. The thing is, like you said, I know what to expect from Croatia today. I know what to expect. It's the same team you always get. They're competitive, they're tough, they're structured the right way. They don't give up too many mistakes. They're managed well. I'm not sure what I'm going to get from Portugal. That's the truth. If Portugal plays their best soccer, then they're better than Croatia and they'll win this game. But it's very possible that they don't play their best soccer and they lose this game because they don't show up. So the ceiling for Portugal is higher than it is for Croatia. But I also think the floor for Portugal is lower than Croatia. That's where the risk comes involved. And I think Portugal today, look, it's another storyline here is Diogo Jota passed away 1 year ago today, right? So they're playing for Diogo Jota. The whole World Cup run, they're really attributing to him, and they want to win the World Cup for him. This is a big game for Portugal, emotionally, for their fans, as a team, it might be Ronaldo's last major international tournament game. So there's a lot involved, and I need to see a better performance. And one other guy who hasn't been talked about enough is Bruno Fernandes. He had in that Colombia game, people want to forget the best chance that Portugal had to score was on his foot in the first half. He was on the goal, literally 5 yards out, and he kicked it right at the keeper. You put it anywhere else on the goal, and that scored. It's just a goal. You're up 1-0. You might win the game. So again, people want to talk about how Portugal, they're built. They have a strong roster. They have Ronaldo. The people around Ronaldo have to perform. They have to. In 2022, Messi performed phenomenally. but the team around him performed well too. They
Couldn't agree
got
more.
performances from everybody. And right now, look, I'm not even saying this. Portugal could very well lose today, but the story is not going to be, oh, Ronaldo couldn't get it done. Portugal as a squad, there's too much talent on this team. They need to perform. This is not on Ronaldo. Everyone needs to do their job today. If they lose, it's not going to be on the shoulders of Ronaldo. It's going to be on the shoulders of everybody on that team, including him. But everyone around him needs to perform because they have not done their jobs. They haven't. And so I'm expecting a good performance. They need to have a good performance. And you know what? This is the reality. Austria is going to play Spain. Austria is not a bad team. If Austria can put on a good performance and beat Spain, which, look, it's crazy to say, but Spain has not been successful recently in World Cups. They've not won that many games. If Austria beats Spain, Portugal, and they play before Portugal, you're licking your chops. You're thinking, man, let me beat Croatia. Let me play Austria, and then let me play US or Belgium, and then you don't have to worry about France till the semifinals, and they have to play Morocco anyways, which is a tough matchup. So
Mhm.
Portugal needs to take care of business today. Roberto Martinez needs to make the right lineup. And look, I'm not gonna look. Gonzalo Ramos is not my favorite player, but if this is a 0-0 game and you're not getting enough chances, I think you go to two strikers. I think you put in Gonzalo Ramos at some point. You take out one of the midfielders. You don't need Vitinha and Jean Neves there. One of them is good enough. You leave one of them in, and you put two strikers up there. Let Gonzalo Ramos make the runs and clear out the space for Ronaldo. And the other thing is, people forget. People crowd Ronaldo because they don't want. Like the Uzbekistan game, you saw it. He's right there. You have three Uzbekistan guys, and Leao's coming in from nowhere and scoring because they're all focused on him. Put Ramos in there. See what happens. Let him make the runs and let him open up space. So he has options. It's not easy to be the manager of that team, but they need a good game. They need a good game. Now, looking ahead, the other goal
Couldn't agree
plays
more.
tomorrow. Argentina, Cape Verde. Obviously, Cape Verde is a massive underdog. Do you expect this to be as easy as it should be for
You
Argentina,
cut.
or is Cape?
You were cutting out.
Here, sorry, I don't even know. I think technical difficulties here, but do you think it's going to be as easy for Argentina as people think it's going to be, or can Cape Verde compete?
I think Cape Verde can compete. I mean, we didn't expect it happening. Spain. We didn't expect it against Uruguay. I think Cape Verde has an identity. They know what they
Yeah,
have to do. They're probably going to park the bus to send this to extra time penalties. So they know their
yeah,
strategy of what they're going to do because they know they don't have the team to compete against Argentina. So they know their game plan going into tomorrow. So a team that has their identity and game plan heading into a game is a dangerous team. But
for sure.
I think the talent that Argentina has and the experience that they have from winning the World Cup 4 years ago is just going to be too much for Cap Verde. So
Yeah,
while Cap Verde is a great story.
yeah,
They won a lot of people's hearts, especially Bosnia, but their fairy tale run ends tomorrow because Argentina is
yeah.
just too good of a roster, and I think even with their game plan, I think we should expect Argentina to um, put many goals on them because I just think there's significantly much more talent on Argentina, and they're not inconsistent like Portugal. I mean, like Spain and Uruguay, because Uruguay is not here anymore because that was
Yep,
a bad team. They were inconsistent and they were badly
yep,
coached. So that's why Uruguay. We're not talking about Uruguay in the knockouts today. And Spain, you talked about it before. They haven't
yep,
been in their A game. They've been inconsistent. They haven't played well. They barely beat a Uruguay team that was very poor. So that's
yep.
why I think Argentina should get through this match really, really easy because they're not inconsistent. They have so much talent and they know their roles on this team.
Yeah, I think Argentina will handle business. Look, I'm hoping Cape Verde can, shock the world, and it's awesome to see an underdog story. That'd be great. But again, I think it's too much, and I think the focus has to be on Messi because Argentina right now hasn't. No one else has scored. Or well, I mean, they had a free kick last game where, and eventually somebody else scored. For the
And
majority of the
Lautaro
tournament, it's been
Martinez and Lautaro Martinez
yeah,
scored a penalty.
yeah. So, but the majority of their goals have come from Messi. So I think you have to focus on making other people beat you, right? If Messi's coming to the top of the box, crowd it, right? Take your chances on other people and make them beat you because right now, if you let Messi stroll right up to the top of the box and they give him the ball there, that's really not going to work for Cape Verde, and he will score from that spot. So you got to make sure you crowd the middle of the field and do not give Messi space to dictate play and to have shots on net. You got to make other people beat you. And again, Lautaro Martinez hasn't exactly been fantastic. So make him beat you. Make him score a hat trick. Make him go out there and perform well. And see how Argentina performs if Messi's not the focal point because we haven't seen it yet, really.